Welcome to 7shifts Academy, guided lessons for restaurant workers, owners, and operators to gain the knowledge they need to grow their business and succeed in their careers. 7shifts is the all-in-one team management platform built for restaurants. With our tools, restaurant managers can work more efficiently and improve performance, freeing up more time and energy to focus on delivering great service to their customers. Before you implement a new tip-out structure at your restaurant, remember to consider the following factors to stay compliant and ensure staff are satisfied with the final decision. Number 1, your service model. The right tip payout method for your business depends on your service model. Here are a few common service styles and what should be considered when choosing a tip payment method. Servers at traditional full-service restaurants rely on tips more than any other restaurant concept. It's important to consider how many employees are in tipped positions, your staff's experience, the shift schedule structure, and projected wages with tips added. In a fine dining establishment with career servers, a shared tip pool might work well, as employees will know to support each other on the floor and everyone will be carrying their weight. Conversely, if your restaurant team's experience level varies, think through the impact of tip pooling. Veteran servers may resent sharing tips with rookies, but those new hires may appreciate the wage security that comes with communal tipping and be inclined to stick around longer. Tip jars and their digital equivalents are popular among workers at quick service restaurants like cafes, pizzerias, and ice cream shops. It's common for the tips earned by the staff to be divided up evenly after each shift, with all eligible employees taking a cut. The only other decision the business needs to make is whether or not back-of-house employees are eligible for tips. Similar to QSR, fast food restaurants might have a tip jar or digital equivalent for either counter workers or all employees to share at the end of a shift. However, most fast food chains like McDonald's don't allow their workers to receive tips. If your fast food restaurant is an exception, clearly define who is eligible to be tipped and if any role gets a larger cut of tips than another. 2. Local laws. The legality of tip-outs and tip pooling are subject to local regulation. For example, Minnesota restaurants are not allowed to pool tips. We recommend reviewing your area's laws before adopting or altering a tip-out procedure to remain legally compliant. In general, the biggest local rule to check during tip-outs is whether your area has a tip credit. Some states like California require employers to pay the full minimum wage regardless of tips, meaning restaurants can't rely on the tip credit to offset their own contribution to wages. Most other states, however, do allow tip credits. If your restaurant is allowed to take a tip credit, it simply means an employee's tips cannot be reduced through tip-outs to the point of being paid below minimum wage. If this does happen, the restaurant must pay the difference to make sure the employee earns minimum wage. 3. Who should get tips? First and foremost, tips should go to servers and bartenders. They're the front line of service in an FSR and should be rewarded for their direct efforts in making the guest experience. After that, it's completely up to the restaurant how it sets up the wage and tipping structure. Most restaurants recognize the hustle of bussers and food runners and include them in tip-outs, while others might loop in the host or hostess. Regarding fairness, it too is dependent on the restaurant. Let's revisit the idea of tipping your hosts. If all the host does is greet diners and bring them to their tables, they're not as active in the dining experience and may not be eligible for tips. However, if they also do takeout orders, they're the only face that those guests see, so they may be worth including. Finally, restaurants need to determine what percentage is fair for each employee included in the tip-out process. While this also differs in each restaurant, you should consider the number of employees in each role included in the tip-out, the level of interaction with guests, and the overall impact on employee wages to determine a fair tip-out structure. After you have determined the tip-out method that works best for your restaurant and its staff, it's time to roll out your plan. For guidance on executing this new structure, watch our video on how to implement tip payouts effectively. Thank you for watching. For more on operations in the restaurant and hospitality industry, subscribe to the 7shifts YouTube channel. Want to show off your knowledge? Sign up for 7shifts Academy to access free course material with quizzes and certificates. And don't forget to check the description box for links to other useful resources.